Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you'll be listening to a weight loss hypnosis session that was actually created with a very successful lady based in the States who, as a result of an accident, kind of slowly gained weight over the years. And although she was highly resourceful, highly resilient in most areas of her life, when it came to weight loss, she would find it difficult to put herself first. So she would put her business first, she would put her children first, because the perception was, at some level, other entities, other things, other people were more important than she was. And what was evident is that when I really honed into what's the key benefit of losing weight, it was two key things. It was being more confident and comfortable in her own skin. But it was also the fact that if she was losing weight, it would mean she was healthier, happier, and in her opinion meant that she was likely to live longer, which would give her the ability to perhaps spend more time with children, grandchildren, things like that. Once she saw that her exercising and eating well was actually an act of generosity rather than something selfish, it gave her a new perspective on that particular activity. What was also evident, and it's the same for most people, that sometimes people will do more for other people than they will do for themselves, but also sometimes the motive is stronger if it comes from a place of proving people wrong. And, you know, I think a lot of emotional leverage can be generated from actually using things like hurtful words from other people to actually treat it as a gift to unlock high, really emotive feelings of determination and resolve. So what you're actually going to hear in this hypnosis session is lots of emotional leverage to create a highly resourceful, highly emotive state where there's a compelling vision for what losing weight would be like, that the resources are there, and also, crucially, that the very act of doing this is going to tap into her highest values. Now, if you're listening to this, of course, you'll appreciate that it was created for someone else and perhaps quite unique situations for them. But if you're thinking that actually it would be useful to have customized hypnosis for you, there will be a link nearby where you can actually schedule a free 30-minute consultation call, and then I can explain what it would be like if I was to work with you. And these free consultation calls are completely free and they don't have any obligation or expectation to work with me, but it does give you the ability to ask me questions directly as to whether or not hypnosis and specifically the way that I work could actually be useful for you and what your goals are. But for now, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, allow your eyelids to close. And in doing so, just give yourself permission to relax. That's it. As you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to get a sense that you're breathing in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of tension, stress, or worry to leave your body in your outward breath. That's right. Sometimes it's useful to use color as an anchor, an emotional link to a feeling. And I want you to use the power of your imagination to think of a color that best represents resourcefulness for you. Maybe a bright yellow or orange or something else. And as you breathe in, imagine that vibrant color going in through your nose, into your lungs, filling your body with that good feeling. And then notice where feelings of tension, stress, or worry are around your body. And then on the outward breath, just get a sense that that's leaving your body. And perhaps you can even imagine it leaving your body in a darker color. Perhaps even grey or black. Just see it leaving your body in your outward breath. And therefore, in each and every breath, you can know what it feels like to feel more resourceful as you breathe in and exhale that tension as you breathe out, taking you deeper and deeper, relaxed. As you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to notice that as your physical body relaxes, your mind is free to open up a link between your conscious and your unconscious mind. So much of what we do is unconscious. You don't think consciously about tying your shoelaces, or perhaps even when you're driving on a long journey, you don't think about changing lanes. It just happens all by itself. And if your subconscious mind can drive a car, and it can tie your shoelaces, and it can blink thousands of times every day, then I want you to think, how do you communicate or listen to your subconscious mind? And as you breathe in and breathe out, it becomes obvious. The interface is your own imagination. Some of your best ideas have just come to you in a movie in your mind. Some of your biggest insights is just a feeling that you found there in your gut. Sometimes your inner dialogue has given you some wisdom and you didn't really know where it came from, but you trusted it anyway. And I want you to get a sense that all of these are forms of your own imagination, internal senses that can guide you towards something powerful for you. And I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine that you've driven up to a large place in nature. I want you to think of a large tree farm. Imagine that you've parked your car, and imagine that you've left the car perhaps with the dog and you're just walking. You've done this a few times and therefore you know what the temperature feels like on your skin. You know what rhythm you tend to walk to before one foot goes in front of the other foot all by itself without you even thinking about it. Perhaps you can imagine the sunshine on your skin, the rate at which you breathe. And I want you to imagine that this walk is different because with each and every breath you're releasing tension on the outward breath, enabling you to feel deeper and deeper relaxed with every step. Imagine what it would feel like for that tension to leave your body, so that rather than feeling like you're taking one step after another, imagine what it would feel like to just glide. And as you glide through that tree farm, pay attention to things that maybe you don't notice. The texture of the bark on the trees. Starting to think about just how many leaves there are. Noticing the clouds in the sky if you see any. The sound of sounds you don't normally pay attention to. As you continue to walk through that tree farm, I want you to get a sense that Time is being distorted, and you have no idea how much you've traveled. And I want you to imagine that it's reaching a point where you've traveled perhaps maybe 2 miles. Imagine that you're rising up on a hill. See that canopy of trees in front of you, that vista, that view, that panoramic, and I want you to get a sense of powerful, resourceful emotions like tranquility, gratitude, pride and accomplishment, because as you look around, I want you to get a sense that isn't this evident that you're a highly resourceful person? As you look around and see all these trees and see as far around as you can see, this is down to your capabilities, this is down to your resources. And not everyone in the world has these resources that can create something like this. And if you accept that to be true, that you're a resourceful person capable of creating and manifesting a future that is desirable for you, let me know by nodding your head. That's right. And as you accept that to be true, I want you to notice that it feels like you can hear the sound of an old key in an old door turning. Perhaps the mechanical rotation of the key, you can hear it inside your imagination, and imagine the key is unlocking a door. And I want you to accept the suggestion that you are unlocking these incredible resources that you have in so many other areas of your life into a new area of your life that is really important to you right now. And as you hear the lock open and it feels like those resources now available to you, just let me know by nodding your head. That's right. I want you to get a sense that it feels positive for you. It feels empowering. But sometimes we need people that are going through bad times, or just have a moment where they just speak their mind from their unique perspective, sometimes to help, sometimes to hurt. But I want you to get a sense that sometimes these people that can say things that happen to hurt or make us feel bad are giving us a gift. I want you to imagine there on that canopy, on that tree top, where you can see around all of these different kind of trees as far as your eye can see. On that hilltop, I want you to get a sense that I want you to hear the words that would create the highest level resolve in you. Maybe it's certain emotive words that you wouldn't like to hear, but it's worth hearing it one last time to take this powerful resources and then put it to use. And if you can think of the words that if people said them would create a huge desire to prove them wrong, to do whatever it takes to take your life in a powerful direction, if you can hear those words and it gives you that resolve. Motivation may last a few days, but a resolution, a commitment, a fierce determination to do whatever it takes until is something different. So imagine, either from strangers or people you know, that the words that would trigger you the most to create that resolve are being communicated to you right now. And when you hear them and you have unlocked that fierce resolution to do whatever it takes, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And then I want you to thank those people just inside your own imagination. Because sometimes being grateful for hurtful words enables you to take the power back. Maybe you can see some confused faces. When people say hurtful things, they only get satisfaction if you're hurt. If you're grateful for those hurtful things, it confuses them. But you still have that resolve, that commitment, that determination anyway. As these faces disappear, I want you to use the power of your imagination, drifting off there, focusing on perhaps on one tree, your eyes go blurry, and then you access your own imagination. And I want you to imagine something specific. I want you to imagine a future version of you. I want you to imagine a future version of you where nothing changes. You don't lose the weight, perhaps you even gain the weight. And I want you to imagine seeing yourself at your 60th birthday party. You can tell from your facial expressions there might be a feeling of embarrassment or maybe even shame, trying to avoid pictures being taken. And as you see that, if that increases the feeling of resolve to take matters in your own hand and avoid that future, let me know by nodding your head. And then I want you to create a new image of the future where you're watching a reality TV show on TV and you're seeing yourself on that TV weighing more than you currently weigh. If that increases your resolve, your determination to avoid that future from happening, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And then what I want you to do is I want you to imagine rewinding both of those. Just telling yourself, the future is not written. And you know deep down, you're the type of person that when people told you that you couldn't do something, didn't it feel good to prove them wrong? Time and time again. I want you to get a sense that this is one of infinite possible futures. And sometimes we can sabotage ourselves by thinking that the future has to be perfect for it to be desirable. And I want you to consider that anything that represents an improvement compared to those two thoughts is progress. The only question is, how much progress do you want to make? How much progress can you make in the time between now and then? And there's things that you can do to accelerate that speed of progress, reduce that speed of progress. And there's choices that you can make that would make no progress whatsoever. And other choices that would actually mean that you could be even heavier at those birthday celebrations or on that TV show. And I want you to get a sense that the future is proportionate to your behavior and your priorities. And sometimes we need to unlock the power to make it a priority for you to serve you. And I want you to imagine going forward in the future, maybe a decade, 2 decades. And I want you to see a slim yet older version of you. Maybe you see yourself maybe 70 or 80 years old, and I want you to see yourself with a big beaming smile, looking strong and slim and healthy, playing with your grandchildren. And if you can see that, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to think that you feel good being healthy and strong and slim, but also look at the smiles on the faces of perhaps grandchildren that aren't even born yet. Isn't that also a gift to them? And I want you to get a sense that they're learning from you also. That it's never too late to take your life in your own hands. To be the most confident, healthiest version that you can be at any age. At 80, you can never be as fit as when you were 20 or 30, but that's not the point. You can be the healthiest 80-year-old version of you that you can be, or the healthiest 70-year-old version you can be. And if it feels good to see yourself in the future looking healthy, slim, confident, but more importantly, enjoying precious memories with the people that are so important to you, just let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to think that this is a future milestone that is just an echo of earlier things that happened. I want you to rewind time until you can see yourself at your 60th birthday. See yourself at your 60th birthday having lost weight. And maybe you didn't lose all the weight that you wanted to at that point in time, but I want you to get a sense that the weight that you did lose was significant enough for you to get a feeling of pride and accomplishment, that you were making progress. Accept the suggestion that progress is more important than perfection, because progress means you're turning the tide, you're building momentum, you're moving things in exactly the direction that they could go. And if you can see yourself on your 60th birthday looking proud yet determined to continue this trajectory, just let me know by nodding your head. Then I want you to imagine stepping into that version of you and feeling how good it feels to have lost some weight, knowing that this is just the beginning of you taking your life into a future of health, confidence, and memory creation of precious moments. And if it feels good to have felt like you've lost that weight and are still making progress, let me know by nodding your head. Jump out of that body, see yourself still looking confident and happy, and realize that you didn't need to be perfect. You didn't need to wake up at 5 a.m. every day. You didn't need to eat perfectly all the time, but you were doing enough of the right things to make progress. Being more active, eating well, reducing certain carbohydrates, training your body to see your body fat cells as a source of energy so you could use them to power the increased amount of walks and physical activity. And then I want you to fast forward until you see yourself perhaps 4, 5, 6 months in the future, and I want you to imagine that you're seeing yourself surrounded by TV cameras as a TV show is recorded, and I want you to see that version of you having lost even more weight. I want you to see yourself looking happy, a beaming smile, brimming with confidence, that you're happy that you're on camera. You're not just proud of your children, you're proud of yourself. And you can't help but think that years and years in the future, your children, your grandchildren, maybe even your great-grandchildren will see this recording that's taking place right now, and see you in a way where you've lost that weight, and what you lost in weight you gained in confidence, self-esteem. And if it feels good to see that version of you having lost weight at the point where you know it's going to be recorded forever, just let me know by nodding your head. Imagine stepping into that version of you. Now, I don't know how much weight you've lost at this point, but I know that you can see yourself in the mirror and you can judge yourself that you look good for your age. I want you to get a sense that you're proud of what you've lost in weight, you've gained in confidence, but more importantly, you started putting yourself first, knowing that it would also create valuable emotional memories and experiences for the people that you care for and love the most. This was an act of generosity. And as you feel your body being that weight in that moment, at the point where the cameras are rolling and things are being recorded, I want you to think back to what you did to get you there. What food did you eat more of? What food did you eat less of? How did you increase the amount of activity that you did? What did you do to build a streak of day after day of being in a calorie deficit, training your body to burn that body fat. And if you get an insight as to what you did in order to get you to that place where you lost the weight and gained the confidence, just let me know by nodding your head. Again, hear that old mechanical lock turning. You've unlocked the resources, but you've now also unlocked the strategy. You know what you want, you've unlocked the resources to do it, and you now know how to do it. And if your unconscious mind accepts that, you have what it takes now to make progress in this area, just let me know by nodding your head. I want you to imagine that version of you, perhaps in 5 or 6 months' time, the version of you that's lost that weight, is now returning to you in the present. Perhaps there, on a hilltop, overlooking the canopies of trees. And I want that future version of yourself with all that confidence to give the present version of you a hug, to tell you you've got this. The future version of you is returning to your present to say that this won't be easy, but it will be worth it. To give you a vote of confidence that when the going gets tough, the future version of you will give you even more resilience, even more determination. At the point where you feel like you can't go on, the future version of yourself is evidence that yes, you can. You don't need to be perfect. Not every day needs to be full of activity. But just know that what you do consistently will create your future, not on any one day. Think how ridiculous it would be to expect that one day of rigorous exercise will completely change your body. But if that's also true, one day where you miss going to the gym or miss walking also won't change your body. It's what you do day after day after day. And if your unconscious mind accepts that message from your future version of you that's already lost the weight, just let me know by nodding your head. That future version of you hugs you again and then takes all of their resources and evidence that they can do it, and then imagine that they become absorbed into your present. So that conviction, that belief system, those resources and know-how, knowing how to avoid the pitfalls and get back up if you've had a bad day, all of that is now within you. All of the resources that have made you successful in every other area of your life are now aligned to this area of your life. And then imagine reaching the point of the turnaround point in this incredible tree park and then walking back towards the car. Seeing the face of your dog, that's their happy place too. And you get a sense that you're incredibly optimistic about the future. You're not naive, it won't be easy, but if anyone's going to do it, you can do it. And realize that the people that are there to support you are giving you positive energy. But the doubters, the naysayers, the people that would love to see you fail are also giving you resources too. And you're grateful for both. And when you return to your car, let me know by nodding your head. And then realize that this is just thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams. And very shortly, we're going to take all of that resourcefulness, that compelling vision for the future. You know what you want to look like on your 60th birthday. You know what you want to look like when you're on that reality TV show. And therefore, take all of that compelling vision and allow it to fuel you into creating that as a self-fulfilling prophecy. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Get a sense that you're in your own physical body right now. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. As very soon I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, you will awaken feeling resourceful, motivated, determined, energized, on point, determined to prove all of those people that would consider you frumpy, consider you an embarrassment. That just puts more fuel on the fire to send you in exactly the right direction to prove those naysayers wrong. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.